Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the channel. I know it's been long, I'm sorry, I'm going to fire the videos out from now again, but this video is of course another football video. I'm wearing a Newcastle shirt, but today it's not about Newcastle, it's about how Manchester United will line up next season and how I ultimately think they will do. And you might say in the back of clothes on a suitcase, and honestly I'm stressing. I've got on holiday a week on Saturday, but my parents go away on Wednesday and I've got to pack and iron, and I'm just stressing. I'm not good at this stuff. But anyways, I've got here, I'm going to put on the screen this little image I've got. And it's how I think Man United could line up next season with some signings that I think will happen, and the signing that of course has happened. But let's first talk about Man United last season. Erik ten Hag's first season in the Premier League. And as a Newcastle fan, I know they beat in the Carabao Cup final. And I can always respect Man United, you know. What they've done, and Ten Hag coming in his first season, winning the cup, getting to an FA Cup final, finishing in third position. I think I do believe he's a good manager, but I think he's very arrogant, and some of the stuff he says when he's just wrong. For what he's done as well, he hasn't really done much, but like you can understand it from your Klopp side of things and Pep. But I think sometimes with Ten Hag, he just gets a bit too big for his boots for ultimately only being at Ajax, you know. But that's like, you know, I don't dislike him. I'm not saying that. I just think sometimes he does get on my nerves a bit. When he can't show, what's the word? He can't show like just respect, really. Like if the team beats him fair and square, and he's like, oh well, this. He tries to pick out everything else other than the just better team on the day. But however, I'm not bothered. Not my team. Let's talk about how Man United will line up next season. I'm going to start from the goalkeeper, and it does look like there will be a new goalkeeper at Man United next season, and a goalkeeper I'm a very, very big fan of. A goalkeeper that I used to sign on Football Manager all the time, and sometimes I still do. It's Andre Onana from Inter Milan, who will probably Inter won about 60 million euros for Andre Onana, and Man U, I think today have submitted a bid of about 40-ish million pounds with add-ons. I think the deal will get done if it's from 50 to 55 million. Onana really wants to go. Of course, he played under Ten Hag at Ajax. He really wants to make this move to Manchester United, and I believe he will be Man United's goalkeeper next season. I also saw a tweet the other day saying that the Glazers has promised Erik ten Hag they'll do everything and anything to get Andre Onana in the goalkeeper position. I think he suits Manchester United more than he suits Manchester United. Whereas, like, you know, Manchester United, David De Gea, terrible last year, really. He made some good saves. He did get the Golden Glove, but he's not this sweep-back keeper who's unbelievable with his feet. And I think Andre Onana is probably one of the best sweep-back keepers in the world. He's great, and he's just all round. His goalkeeping ability is great, and I think this would be a huge signing for Manchester United. So I hope they can get that one done. Going into the right-back position, I've went for Diogo Dalot and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think they'll rotate again like they did last season. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is probably the best one-on-one right-back defender in the world. He's just not the modern-day right-back, and he doesn't suit the way Man United want to play. Of course, he's looked a lot better under Erik ten Hag. But, you know, Dalot's your man, you know, just sign a contract extension. He's the man for Manchester United. So there's not really much more I can say on that. Going into the right centre-back position, of course, Harry Maguire. I'm joking. Please don't kick off with that. It's, of course, Rafael Varane, a great centre-back. Looks very, very good since Ten Hag came in. And, you know, I think I don't see anyone taking his position. Going on to the left centre-back position, I mean, do you even need to, like, say anything? Lisandro Martinez. At the start, you know, he didn't have the best of starts at Man United, but if you remember, Manchester United didn't have the best of starts. So, you know, he came into his own. He's been was he like 5'9", 5'10"? He's been fantastic for Man United since, and he's very versatile. He can play a left centre back where he normally plays. He can play a left back. He can play CDM. A very well-rounded player, and that's why Arteta wanted him last year. I remember, because he's someone who can play everywhere, and a lot of managers like your Pep Guardiola's, like your Mikel Arteta's, like your Eddie Howe's, even Ten Hag, they like players that can play in lots of different positions, and Lisandro Martinez offers that. And it's a bit like Arsenal now going for Yuri and Timber, can play in a lot of different positions, play right back, centre back, CDM. just very similar. But Martinez, great signing, and I'm happy that he's doing well for them. Left back, it's Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw was brilliant last year. I'm really happy for Luke Shaw. He's brilliant when he plays for England now, and I'm so happy that he's got past his injuries and he's just doing amazing. It's lush to see, you know, because you always thought he was going to be one of them players that just is going to struggle. And then, of course, Malacia. I think he struggled a bit last year. Could he benefit from a loan deal? Maybe, maybe not. But I think Man U should keep him as that backup left back and give him games. You know, the back in the Man U in the Champions League back in it now. So he can play some Champions League group stage games maybe, or he can play some league games if Shaw's tired from midweek, or he can play the cup games. So I think a great competition at the left back there. I think Malacia will be a good player soon. CDM, I mean, your defensive midfielder, one of the best in the world, one of the greatest. Casemiro, brilliant player. He played against I was at the cup final, and when he played against us, he's just great. Like, you know, like, he's just class, and that's why he was in Man United. Well, he has been Man United, but that's why he was in Real Madrid set up for such a long time, because he's such a brilliant footballer. He's just so strong, and you can trust him to just sit there. And if they get past your first two midfielders, you best believe Casemiro will get that ball. Now going for a higher attacker, a higher midfielder, Bruno Fernandes, or Bruno Fernandes, as FIFA says. Bruno had an excellent season last year. You know, he doesn't score as much as he did when he first came in, but I think he's been so much better, and he's been brilliant since Ten Hag came in, and Ten Hag's really helped some players as we get on, like Rashford and stuff. But Bruno Fernandes, class player, and I'm sure he's going to have a great year next year. Now, going on to the left centre mid, I'm obviously put Man U as a 4-3-3, what to play. Mason Mount, the new signing. I think he cost about £55 million, I think. I'm not sure. Great signing in my opinion. Champions League winner. And I think he'll have a great season for Man United, and I think it's a very good signing. I think the midfield, having Casemiro, Bruno, Mason Mount, I think it's good. I think Bruno, will place a little bit slightly more higher than Mason Mount. And I think they might even give Bruno like a free run, or even Mount the free run. But I think that mid will be the midfield to start with, because I can't see them playing with Fred. I can't see them playing with Scott McTominay. I can see that three midfield will be their best midfield. It will play the big games. Now, moving on to the right wing, Anthony. I'm not keen on Anthony. I think there's a player in there, and he's only had one season in England, so I won't judge him. You know, I think next season is the season where Anthony will be tested, and I'm excited for it. You know, he came for about 95 million euros, if I'm correct, as if I'm wrong. And you know, he's showed highlights of what he can do, but I hope he lives up next year, and I'm sure he will. You know, I'm sure he will. And now we're going to be going on to the left wing. In my opinion, Manchester United's best player. He'll be a legend, in my opinion. It's Marcus Rashford. What a season he had last year. He was great. He was absolutely brilliant. Probably his best season in his career to date. He was fantastic. He scored nearly every single... I remember every time I was obviously at Newcastle, watching Newcastle all the time, but when Newcastle and Man United were playing at the same time, I swear, every time I go on Sky Sports, it was Marcus Rashford. He's playing with a smile on his face. Eric Ten Hag has done this lad worlds and worlds of good, and he's really took Rashford under the arm again and made Rashford that player. And I just see Rashford getting better and better. I really like Marcus Rashford, and definitely an English striker, well, English winger starter in the future. Now going to a striker, Wout Weghorst will not return to Manchester United, as been confirmed. So right now, their only striker is Anthony Martial. I think that Man United will sign Rasmus Højlund from Atalanta. Great striker. I think he'll tear it up in the Premier League. I think he would score over 20-ish, 22. I think he'd score over than that in the Premier League. And he reminds us just of a Haaland, really. He's an absolute goal machine. He's physical, you know. I really like the look of this lad. And I think he'd be perfect for Manchester United. And I think him and Rashford will have some fun together. But that's how I see Man U setting up next season. And I think that team I think maybe if you get that striker in, you get Onana in, maybe you get another right wing in. I'm going to say, I think you've got the depth. I think you can challenge for the league. But will they? Probably not. I think next year it'll be another... I think it'll be the same top four next year. I really believe it'll be Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City and Man United all challenging again. But I think it'll be... I actually believe Arsenal are going to do it this year with the signings they're making. But you can never count City out. But I want to see Arsenal. I want to see a different team win it. Obviously, I want to see Newcastle win it. You know, just saying Sadio Tonali, great signing. We're going to sign more players. But obviously, if I can't see Newcastle win it and I had to pick a team who are realistically going to win it, I would like to see Arsenal win it because Man City have won it a lot recently. But, you know, I'm not bothered, you know. I hope Newcastle are competitive, which I'm sure they will be. And we've got the Champions League. But yeah, anyways, let's not talk about Newcastle. It's a Man United video. But that's how I want to see Man United line up. And let's talk about how what I think Man United will do in the Champions League next year. I think Man U will get out the group stage. I think you could see Man U get to about the semi-finals. Obviously, you just look at the draw. You don't know who they're going to draw. They could go and draw Man City in the quarters, or they could go and get Real Madrid in the round of 16. You just never know. But I think they can go on a good run, and I think they're going to be a very progressive team next year, very attacking football. And I'm excited for it, you know. I'm excited to see how Ten Hag does this year. This is like the proper test, because last year, you've done fantastic for coming in, and everyone was saying, if you remember, because people disregard this, people were saying last year that, oh, it'll take Man U 5-6 years to rebuild and be where they need to be, but you got them in the top four straight away. Obviously, your likes of Chelsea, your Liverpool, your Tottenham didn't have the best of seasons, so it were awful. Liverpool just came into it at the end. But other than that, you know, he had a good season. You can't disregard that. Beat my team in the final. If I can just pull it up quickly. I hate looking at this now because, you know, I hate that. Because, you know, I really wanted to win that. But I think Man U could also win. I think they should also win another trophy next year. Like even another. Maybe they should try and get redemption on the FA Cup. I'm sure Ten Hag goes into every single competition trying to win them. I know he does that because he got the Carabao Cup final, won it. Got the FA Cup final and was runner-up. And then, of course, was it the quarters he got knocked out, or the semis he got knocked out of the Europa League, and then Premier League came third. Great first season, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe and comment, and I promise you there'll be another video very, very soon. Goodbye.